Good morning, good evening, or good afternoon, no matter where in the world you guys are, and a big warm welcome again to the Top Tipper family. Guys, before we get into our selections for the July day, just a big thanks to Hollywoodbets for getting involved with us and sponsoring us. We say thank you so much. And again, big thanks to Nathan Kotzen for joining us on the line. Nathan, I heard that you were involved in a small accident, or not such a small accident, and everything all right there, my friend?
Yeah, I'm all fine, thanks. A little bit stiff, but yeah, thank goodness I can. Thank God.
Yeah, no, well, that's all right, my friend. As long as you are healthy, you know what I'm saying? Guys, we're going to get involved. We're going to go through the card. We're going to go through the card quickly. Nady, we're going to start with you. The first race is due for 11:45, 1,300 meters. What do you fancy there, Nate?
I was thinking more, I like the one, the 2 and the 10.
1, 3, and 10. Is that what he said, Kate? Confirm with me.
1, 2, and 10.
1, 2, 10. Nate, in that order, hey, Nate?
No, not necessarily in that order. It's be competitive. I just those are 3 when looking at studying the form. I thought those are the 3 I liked in the race.
Okay, Nate, I just want to ask something quickly. The last time we were at the course together, that was that day that Charles Dickens came home lonely. If you recall, on the day, everything turned into the straight and they went to the outside, barring Charles Dickens, and they won on the outside. Is the draw going to be a major factor on the weekend, do you think?
I think on a day like this, the draws definitely do matter because everyone's fighting for position, you know, and I think it does come into play, but most of the time, Grable, they win middle outside. Now and then you do get them winning on the inside, but very rarely.
Okay. Kenny, what do you fancy in the first?
I think it's quite competitive. I like the way Secret Identity won last time out. Did come from a way back. I think that will be in the finish. But I like the 2. I think if the 2 can jump on terms, drawn well, it's a nice price, 7-1. I'd be going with that as an each way play.
Yo, I tell you, between the 3 of us, we were way off here. My first selection is the 5 moving in. And I'm just going because if Miss Geriatrics was in this race, I honestly think she would dawdle it. And I'm just hoping Gavin can do something for me already. I've taken the 14-1. So if it gets back in, maybe it's my money. I've taken the 14-1 on that. And I'm hoping that the 3, Richard Ferree for Robin Klaasen does me a favor and runs 2nd or 3rd. That's my fancy for that race. Must just take note that horse 7, Far Horizon, has been scratched, guys, and that brings 15 into it. And Tristan Godden is aboard that one for Mike Miller. That's at African Beat. So those that are watching must just take note, please, guys. 7 is out, 15 is in. Right, guys, let's move on to the second race. This is the first leg of the bipot. And I'm going to kick this one off if you don't mind. I'm only putting 2 horses in my bipot. I think it's a match race between 1 and 4. And my first selection would be 4, Outlaw King, Keegan DeMella for the Canamayo yard, and the 1 Main Defender. I can't see anything else in that race. Katie, what do you fancy there?
I like the 1 Main Defender. I think its last run was very impressive. Tony knows how to get them ready for the big days. So I think it's between 1 and 4. You go through with those 2. If you want a lurker, you could take the 3 Jerusalem Moraine. But I think 1 and 4 will do you there.
Nady, what do you fancy in the second?
I agree 100% with you guys. The 1 and 4, and I thought maybe the 3, if anything, you have to go a bit wider the 3.
Okay. Listen, guys, what I'm going to do...
100%. Prefer the 4 to the 1.
Okay, 100% myself. What I'm going to do, guys, the 2 best horses the 2 horses that we fancy, I'm going to personally take a bipot with those numbers. And if it arrives, well, we're all going to have a very, very nice supper together. So I'm gonna throw the 1 and the 4 in the buy pot there for us, guys. We're happy with that.
Perfect.
Right. Let's take note, guys, that the 9 Mystery Cachet is out, and I see Muzi Yeni is aboard the 15 Helsinki, and that comes into the race now as well. So please just take that and take note of that, okay? We'll move on to the third race. This is the first leg of our place accumulator. This is due off at 13:05, over 2,200 meters. Katie, I'm going to start with you there. What do you fancy?
Race, I like one-way traffic. I think it's the right horse in the race. For once, it cracks a decent draw. The last 4 times it's been drawn in the clads. So I think one-way traffic's the right horse. The each-way play in the race for me would be number 5, Lord William. I think that's a little bit of value there, around 10-1. But it doesn't stop there. There's a few in here with a chat. You throw in the brass, it does carry a bit of timber though. But I think 4 and 5 for me there.
Okay, Nate, you haven't heard anything from your brother with regards to Lord William?
I haven't actually tested him too yet. But looking at both the performance, and I thought he had a solid speed. Which I thought the 8, one of the horses is a better form. It is the 8. It's had 2 runs. It's had a good pep into this race. It's third that off the rest of the Evans opted to ride that instead of Jimmy Don. And then I don't know if he did opt to ride that instead of Jimmy Don because Jimmy wasn't there till I also thought the Cox also had a chance at the 6.
To be honest with you, that's my first 2 selections, 4x6. Again, we know Christian Soumillon is not yet to look at the weather. That's for darn sure. And Mark's not going to put him on the on a horse to look at the bloody weather. So I've gone 4 and 6. Bar pot, what do you want to do there, guys? We all go for the 4. What do you want me to throw in there? Should we go 4, 5, 6, 8? You guys happy with that?
I think you'd get away with 4 and 6.
You reckon we get away with 4 and 6? Natty, are you happy with 4 and 6? Or do you want to throw something else in?
I would like to throw the 5 then.
4, 5, and 6. Is that what you want?
100%.
Right.
Mace, you're trying to regroup a bit of your crown for last year.
I tell you what, jokes aside, I had a very nice day today. I gave the patrons that number 9, the Inkosana, in the 4th race is a good thing. And it came home by 7.5 lengths. I promise you, 400 out, I was already standing in the queue. You know what I'm saying? I'd popped the bloody cork on the champagne bottle.
Got punted
in. Yeah, got punted in from 5-1. And I think it went off top of the board. So I certainly hope that the patrons got involved in that as well. The things have been going very well for us. We cannot complain. So yeah, please let things keep going. Right, guys, we move on to the 4th race. This is the first leg of the Pick 6 and massive carryover. We have to, people have to get involved in this. Due off at 13:40 over 3,000 meters. Nadia, I'm going to kick off with you. What do you fancy in the first leg of the Pick 6?
I think it's also quite a hard and open race. I like horses also, but 10.
I never heard that. Can you tell me, Kelly?
He likes Muzi, the 10.
The 10. I thought that I fancied that, and then I gave the 12 and the 7. Red Maple, no weight on it.
10, 12, and 7. Katie, what do you fancy?
I like number 10. I think it's got a good chance here, but my first choice would be Future Pearl. Sees the distance, no problem. I thought it was a tad unlucky last time out. Should have at least run a place. Find all sorts of problems. I'll go 4, 10, and probably throw in Runaway Song. It does carry a lot of weight though. But I do like the 4.
Okay, yeah. For what it's worth, my selections there were 10, 4, 11, that in that order. Bar pot, gentlemen, can we get away with 4 and 10, or do we need something else?
Now I'd throw something else in.
Right, so I don't know what
Nate,
to say.
what?
I thought the 7 for outsider.
Okay, let's throw the 7 in there as well. So we've got 4, 7, 10 in the bar pot there, guys. Okay, move on to the 5th race. Sorry, Nate.
No problem. Back on.
Okay, fifth race on the card, drew off at 14:20, 1400 meters. And guys, I think it's a match race between 4 and 6. I can't look beyond any of those things. The way that Miss Geriatrics won last summer out, honestly, I think if I sit on it on the weekend, we win by 4. I promise you. I think this horse is just so classy. I mean, to be honest with you, I'd be prepared to even banker the thing. But, you know, there's nothing worse than putting a bank and going out. So for me, I've gone 4 by 6. Cade, what do you fancy?
I think the 4 wins. I don't see much beating it. If something could beat it, I do like a bit of Mark Tortilla White Pearl. But I do like the 4. Probably wins.
Nady, what do you fancy?
I also thought the 4 should be a banker. And if anything was 6 and 7, 6 and 8, the cock horse dangers. But I also thought 4 should be a banker. Seemed a classy filly.
You know what, guys? Nelson took a chance. You know, maybe we take a chance that they'll be banker the 4, and we can always load up somewhere else. We all happy with that?
I'm happy with that.
Happy with that, miss, no problem.
Lovely. Right, so we move on to the 6th race, due off at 1500 hours, 1400 meters, a grade 2 Durban Golden Horseshoe. Katie, what do you fancy in this race?
Thought this was a quite tricky race. I do like Give Me Another Chance. If it was drawn a little bit better though. I think it's tough to win from that draw over 1400. You're on the bend. I thought Guy Gibson, I know it ran 6.5 lengths to Lucky Lad last time out, but he was a long way back. It was wet that day as well. Probably be wet, a little bit wet underfoot on Saturday. So I do like Guy Gibson. And then a bit of a lurker would be the 7.
Right, so that's 13.57. Nady, what do you fancy?
I fancy the 13. I agree with Caden. The draw's not the best. I think he's a classy sort. And then I thought the 7 for Russian as well. And I thought a bit of the 9 as well. I thought a little bit of I think there's the 9.
The 9. Okay. Then for what it's worth, guys, I'm going to take those 4 and I'm going to throw in the 1 as well. I'm going to throw in Winter Games. If we all fancy the 13, the 1 ran second. The 1 ran second to it.
Exactly. I looked at that. You're right.
So in the bar pot, we'll put 5 horses there. 1, 5, 7, 9, 13. We all happy with that, gentlemen?
That's perfect. Should go through with that.
Right. So we move on now to the reason why we all here, the Hollywoodbets Durban July. This is due off at 1600 hours. Nady, I'm going to start with you. Give us the winner of the July for this year.
I think shit again is going to be a horse to beat that. Danger, I would say it's a 2. I thought it was a thought race myself. But Billy Bailey, one of my Russies, and Dave the King. Brilliant.
Sorry, what did you fancy before Dave the King?
Billy Bailey, the outsider, the Russie, and also safe, and add safe passage into. So it's
That is
2,
in,
5, 7, 10, 14. That's what I like.
okay. For what it's worth, I can only see one horse in this race. If it loses, I'll be crying crocodile tears. I reckon we can go and lump on Richard Fourie. I think without question wins honest coconut. I think 300 out, I'll be running, standing in the queue. I really think that's the right horse. I think the prep has gone well. Well, you know, see it again. My problem with that horse, I'm not saying he can't place. I just think it'll be coming from too far off him. That's my problem. And between us and the patrons, I heard a little bit of Billy Bowlegs. I heard that thing is working really, really well. And I heard that the guys involved in it are quietly confident of a very, very good run. I'm certainly going to throw that one in a couple swingers. Nathan, if you can recall, when we had Daddy's Jet running, remember Chase rode it for us and he jumped off. And we were chatting to him about secret second base. And he still said to us that if the right second base arrives, it's a lot better than the form suggests. Can you recall that?
Yeah, I remember him saying that, yeah.
You know?
I don't
and
like
listen, I'm going to be...
I thought it's a close race between the seven.
I'm looking at something to run 5th or 6th. I mean, we can get... I mean, wow, if that thing runs a drum 5th or 6th, we can get blooming decent places here. I mean, I'm serious.
Listen to Keegan
even...
listen to Keegan DeMello when he was chatting about it. Just said he seems to think that horse hasn't got the right temperament for a big day. Obviously, he's a bit erratic, yeah? Big race days.
Yeah.
Look, it's also a change of stable, you never know, you know?
Yeah, well, again, 100%, and we still laughed at him, if you recall, because I think he got 10 days suspension for that horse. He came across something, and he got 10 days holiday for that ride as well.
Yeah, that's correct.
Yeah. Katie, what do you fancy? Yeah, because thus far we've got 2, 5, 7, 10, and 14.
Mace, we're in the camper without question. You know,
Yeah.
I think that wins as well. But I do like Bakaya. I don't think that will finish in the money. I'd say those two you'd be all right to get through, but I do think without question should win.
Okay. So Kate and I in the camp of the 2. Nate fancies 7 by 2, and then obviously dogs, roughies for me, Billy Bowlegs, and just because Chase helped us out, I'm going to throw second base in to run a drum. If he runs 4th, I'll be the only one to catch a quartet, I promise you.
I think Dave the King will run a drum. 4th or 5th.
Sure. Right, guys, let's move on to the 8th race. Due off at 1650, and yeah, for me is the bank of the day. I think this is the best bet on the card. I've got doubles onto this, I've got trebles onto this, and I don't know, I'm sure Cade and I are on the same one. I reckon Desert Miracle wins by 3. Don't worry about Princess Keller. I don't think she's going to win. She's great. If she does win, I wouldn't be surprised. My problem is there with Princess Keller. 4 runs at the course, hasn't won as yet. I don't know. I think Mark has got this one cherry ripe. Christoph on aboard this one. He's going to. I mean, Christoph knows this one. He rode it twice. I don't know. I cannot look beyond this. I don't know what else to say. Katie, do you agree with me or you disagree?
I agree with you 100%, Mace, 100%. Desert Miracle all the way. If that loses, I'm done.
Yeah,
Hey.
Native, what do you fancy in the 8th race?
Look, if I can give you any confidence, Trevor actually said that the other day, Trevor Brown, who worked for Mark here in Durban. And later he said, there's a medical bank. They said, don't worry about Princess Colin. Won't be good.
Well,
If it
thank
was
you
over
very much.
1,200, I'd change my mind. I'd
Yeah,
go Princess
myself.
Keller, but it's not 1,200, it's 1,600. So if Princess Keller wins, we're on vacation next week.
No, well,
I'm
there
sorry,
we go. I
if Desert
certainly
Miracle
hope,
wins, we're on vacation.
yeah, I certainly hope that the patrons have heard what Nate has to say. Currently 5-2. I think by the time we turn the computers off and we get there, we'd be lucky to get 18-10. So yeah, let's see what happens. I'm certainly, like I say, I've got a couple doubles and trebles onto it. Please, Lord, let that one arrive. Right, we're going to move on, guys, onto the 9th race. Due off at 17:30. This is again the Grade 2 Post Merchants. I'm going to kick off here. Match race for me, 3 and 7, and I'm hoping Gobsmack arrives at 10-1. Gavin Arena smiling all the way there. I'll be smiling all the way to the bank. I'll probably be the only winner of the pick 6. But I've gone 3 from 7, and I've taken each way on Gobsmacked. Nady, what do you fancy?
I like the 7. I thought the 2 myself are preferred. Gavin's, I see he's riding Gobsmack, obviously. That's a preferred one. But looking at the form, I like the 2 a bit. And then I thought the 10's got a chance here in the 11.
Okay, so I've got that there. Do you like? You got the 7, you got the 2, the 10, and the 11. Katie, what do you fancy?
I like the 11. I think it's in with a big chance.
Okay.
And I like the 9 as a bit of a roughie.
Sweet pepper.
But I do
You know
think
what, guys?
I do think
you go and you look at. Sorry.
I do think Thunderstruck probably the one to beat though.
Okay. You know what? You look at this here.
There's cold fact for a roughie there.
Cold fact. That's a 6. Yeah, look, guys, I'm looking at this here, at this pick 6. We got 3 horses banker. 1, 2, 3, 5 horses, by 6 horses, by banker, by a whole lot at the end. For a couple $100 you take that, you take a percentage. I promise you, if that arrives, yeah, you'll be one of very few collecting, I promise you. But we'll see. We'll talk that. So the 9th race we think is pretty open. We've got 6 horses running for us in the pick 6. Right, guys, let's move on to the 10th race. This is due off at 18:10, 1,600 meters. Please take note that horse 1, Coin Spinner, has been scratched, and that brings the 15, Perfect Witness, in. This stage in time, I don't have a jockey for the Candice Dawson horse. Katie, I'm going to kick off with you. What did you fancy here?
I don't really like the race, to be honest with you. I think Captain Fontaine's got a chance. I do like the 2 Money House, and the 2 Forever Mine, and the 4 Money House. But I don't really like the race, to be quite honest with you.
Nady, what do you fancy in the 10th?
I also thought a very open race. Fixed up. I've got a couple marked that thought Money Hearts. Whatever mine, I thought if anything, maybe the mile might be expected because she's a front runner. She has always up here in the odds of my opinion. But I thought the 4 was one to watch out for. The 7, and then obviously Ma also, she wasn't drawn so bad. He's working very well. His final gallop was very good. And Captain Fontaine, you can't leave him out either.
Right. I was going to ask you about.
And then one other one in the 12. Sorry, the 12 also, but it's thought a bit bad. But obviously, I thought they'd also had a bit of a streak. Very open race.
Sure. Lady, I was going to ask you about Royal Victory. I mean, I love that horse. Really, every time it runs, I have a small touch on it. You say she's working well, Nate. So are you going to sit off them and try and come with a late rattle?
I think that's what I'm going to have to do. You know, I think he's got a lot of speed there as well, which would be good for me. The faster the go, the better. I've just got to get a bit of luck from that door to get over. And you know, he's on his work. I think he's coming back to himself. Last time he knew the run badly, and I thought he didn't get the greatest of rides. I'm very soft on him. Kamala. Yeah, I'm expecting a nice run for him. Don't leave him out, Joe.
Okay, well, for what it's worth, I've taken swingers and exactors, 4 and 14. So please, Lord, let Royal Victory arrive for us. Guys, we move on to the 11th race on the card. Due off at 1850 over 1600 meters. The patrons need to just take note. This is on the poly. The 11th and the 12th are on the poly. So we just need to take note of that. Guys, I'm going to kick off with the 11th race. Don't like it. I'm putting 4 horses in my last jackpot. I've got 5, 6, 10, and 11 in that order. For me, the last jackpot is going to pay more than the pick 6, I promise you. This is almost impossible. So I repeat, I've got 5, 6, 10, and 12. 5, 6, 10, and 12. Katie, what do you fancy there?
I like the 9. I think the 9's got a big chance. I don't like the race particularly. I do think Valeria's Dream must have a chance. But I'm not a big fan of the race, to be honest. You need a few to go through, yeah, and you'll got it.
Daddy, anything you fancy in the 11th?
I also thought very open race. That's what the one you got to add in. 4, 5, 6, and 11. That's what I've got in mind.
Yo, I tell you what, they say this last jackpot's going to cost us $500,000 to take, and they say it's going to pay bombs. I promise you. I mean, I don't know where we can go short. Okay, let's move on to the lucky last, gentlemen. Race 12, due off at 1930. Before we carry on, horse 5, Fossinova is out. Take note of that. And that brings in horse 13, Mo Jive, and Dennis Suarez has got the ride. And this will be drawn 5. So please just take note of that, guys. Katie, I'm going to kick off with you. Yeah, what do you fancy in the lucky last?
I like the 6. I think the 6 is well in here. Tries the poly for the first time. That would be the only concern. But I do like the 6. The 5 will be there or thereabouts.
5 is scratched. 5 is scratched.
Oh, sorry. And the 2, USA's Hope.
6 and 2. Lady, what do you fancy in the lucky last?
I like the 2. It's a chance too. And the 10, I thought.
Okay. Katie, I didn't hear that. It was 10 and?
2 and 6.
Okay. And guys, I've got exactly what you got. I thought it was a match race between 2 and 13. Do not leave the 13 out. Don't forget this one is in and is drawn 5. I won't leave that out. Yeah, we have to throw 100%. We've got to throw that one in, guys. Guys, before we close off, I just want to say thank you so much, Nate. I really appreciate you giving off your time. Thank you so much for giving us the inside info with regards to Royal Victory. Please, Lord, let Royal Victory come home for everybody. And thanks for helping us out with Desert Miracle. Please, Lord, let that be one of the bankers arrive for us. Lady, I appreciate everything. Thank you so much. Take it easy. Love to Wendy and the family. And we'll see you guys soon.
Thanks, guys. Thanks for having me on.
Cheers, thanks.
Sharp, lady. Take it easy. Yeah, Katie, and then just send our regards to Del Boy. I know he's on a plane. He's on the way to South Africa. He wants to go to the July. He wants to be standing there in the winner's enclosure no matter what. So that's why he's not with us. If the patrons want to know why Dullboy's not with us, well, he's on the plane. He's probably sipping champagne a little prematurely because I know what he fancies in the big one. But yeah, and yeah, we'll see him on Saturday. But I know, Katie, he doesn't have what you and I have got in that race.
No.
So either he'll be sipping the shampoo or it'll be you and I.
What does he fancy, mate?
Yeah, he was talking to me a lot about Striker Stradum and telling me that that one's been prepped for it, prepped by the minute. And
He still doesn't listen.
Yeah, I don't know. I think he comes from too far back.
Yeah, myself.
Please, if it wins, I'll be really happy for Mace and them. I really will. But not for me. If it wins without my money, I'm not saying it cannot win, but I prefer the two in that race.
Fact, mate.
But again, before we close off, just again, you guys have been creaming it with the Irish and the UK horses. I mean, they've been arriving. The patrons must be almost going on pension with all those winners at one stage. I think there was 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10 on a trot. Yeah. And they all came home smoking a pipe.
True, mate.
And I certainly hope that the patrons cashed in. And yeah, please, Lord, let it continue.
True, mate.
Yeah. And again, just before I go, the sales today, I know some of the guys wanted to get involved and get shares in it. I promise you, those horses, these guys are buying horses with monopoly money. I promise you, the money that went through there. Oh my word! And some of the horses I think were so overpriced. But again, it's only my opinion. I always say when you spend 700K on a horse, how many wins do you have to get your money back?
Standard handicap. What do you win now? 65 grand.
65 grand, yes. You're not going to win 10 races, so if you win 4, you're going to go into the July or the Met. No, you need to win more than that,
Oh, of course you do.
But again, I tell you what, some of the horses looked exceptional. Kudos to the breeders, really, really well. And yeah, congrats to those that put their hand in their pocket and bought. I know we had some guys that were wanting to get involved in shares. Next time, not this time. For me, those that are fancied, I mean, I think the one went for 750K. I'm certainly not going to get involved in that.
Nah.
And we went for too much for me, So we'll see you next time out. There'll be plenty more sales to come. And yeah, let's take it from there. But Katie, thank you so much. I appreciate that.
No problem, mate. Thanks.
Behind the scenes, I know Bron does a hell of a lot, and a big thanks to her. And again, as I said, thanks to Hollywood for getting involved with us. And again, thanks to Nathan Kotzen for giving up his time and assisting us. Take it easy, look after yourself, break a leg, and we'll see you guys some more. Cheers for now.